There's a moment in every man's life where he feels confused, frustrated, and unsure. Not because a woman doesn't care, but because she's showing it in a language he was never taught to read. Women rarely admit when they miss you, rarely say it directly, and almost never express it in the loud, visible ways men expect. Instead, they communicate their longing in subtle, quiet, psychological signals that most men overlook. And the painful truth is this: she might be missing you deeply, but if you can't read the silent signs, you'll never know. Women don't reveal their vulnerability easily. When she misses you, she doesn't always text first, call you, or confess anything. Pride, fear, uncertainty, and emotional protection all play a role. But even when she hides her feelings, she cannot hide the behavioral shifts that happen beneath the surface. These shifts are small, quiet, and easily misunderstood, but they carry more emotional truth than any words she could say. And this video exposes them because the signals she sends when she misses you aren't dramatic. They are subtle changes in her energy, her timing, her curiosity, and her emotional presence. These signals appear when she feels your absence more than she expected, when your silence hits deeper than she anticipated, when she realizes that the version of you she took lightly is the version she now starts longing for. Every woman has her own emotional fingerprint, but the psychology behind missing someone is universal. When a woman feels drawn back toward a man, even if she tries to hide it, her body language shifts, her attention shifts, and her emotional rhythm shifts. It's as if your absence becomes a quiet magnet, pulling her in different directions, forcing her to act differently, even when she doesn't consciously choose to. Men often misinterpret these signals. They assume she's just bored, confused, or being friendly. They convince themselves it's nothing. But those small, almost invisible behaviors, they're the doorway into her emotional world. And if you miss them, you miss the truth: that she's feeling something she doesn't want to reveal directly. The irony is powerful. The signals she sends when she misses you are silent, but her silence is loud. Loud in the way she watches you from a distance. Loud in the way she reacts to your absence. Loud in the way she tests the waters subtly to see if you'll respond. Loud in the way she tries to feel connected without admitting she needs connection. A woman's heart rarely speaks first, but her actions always speak eventually. In this video, you're going to learn the 3 silent signals almost every man misses. The signals she sends when your absence starts to matter, when her mind starts replaying moments, when her imagination begins filling the space you once occupied. And once you understand these signals, you'll never misread her behavior again. You'll see through the surface and into the emotional truth she's trying to hide. Because when she misses you, she won't say it with words. She'll say it with signals. And if you're not paying attention, you'll miss the moment she actually wants you back. Before we start, a quick reminder. The real transformation doesn't happen on YouTube. It happens inside the community. If these videos have opened your eyes, what's inside will rebuild your mindset completely. It's not just a course, it's a brotherhood, a private space where men master attraction, emotional control, and the psychology of power. You don't join for a month, you join for life. Every future course, book, and lesson is yours forever. No subscriptions, no limits, just one decision that changes your direction. If you're serious about growth, discipline, and purpose, click the link below. Join the community. Enroll once, grow forever. Let's dive in. Signal number 1, the first silent signal. Her attention reappears in subtle, unexpected ways. The first and most common silent signal a woman sends when she misses you is a shift in her attention. Not loud attention, not obvious interest, not a direct message, but small, subtle, almost invisible actions that reveal her emotional reattachment. Women rarely announce that they miss someone. Instead, they express it through micro behaviors that slip out when they're trying to stay in control. These many actions carry far more emotional truth than any confession ever could because they happen unintentionally. They are instinctual. They come from a place of curiosity, longing, and unresolved emotion. One of the earliest signs is that she begins to hover around your digital world again. She might not reach out, but she watches your stories more frequently. She reacts to random posts of yours that she ignored before. She scrolls back to older content you posted and quietly interacts with it. She appears at the top of your viewers list even when she tries not to. It's not an accident. It's the modern version of checking in without actually showing her hand. Women don't do this unless your absence has created a psychological void inside them. She may also become more aware of your presence in real life if you share environments. She notices you the moment you walk into the room. She pays attention to the small details: your mood, your energy, your confidence. She always seems to be where you are, but without making it obvious. She doesn't walk up to you, but she positions herself in your line of sight. She doesn't flirt directly, but she aligns herself close enough that you can feel her presence. Attention like this isn't accidental. It's a silent pull. Another layer of this signal comes from her curiosity. A woman who misses you suddenly becomes interested in what you're doing, where you're going, and who you're interacting with without directly asking. She might ask mutual friends about you. She might react emotionally when she notices you're becoming more focused, more disciplined, or more distant. And even if she hides it, you'll see shifts in her behavior. A woman's curiosity always amplifies when her emotional investment begins returning. This type of attention is not loud because women protect their pride, especially when they feel vulnerable. She doesn't want to appear needy. She doesn't want to risk rejection. She doesn't want to reopen a door she doesn't know is safe. So, she pays attention from a distance, hoping you'll notice the small breadcrumbs she's leaving behind. The most powerful part of this signal is how unconscious it is. She doesn't plan to do it. She doesn't schedule these reactions. She doesn't strategize her interactions. They happen because her emotional world is shifting toward you again. And what makes this so important is the simple truth. If a woman genuinely doesn't miss you, she has zero curiosity about your life. Curiosity is not random. It is a response to emotional pull. So when her attention resurfaces quietly and subtly, when she watches without speaking, when she observes without approaching, it's not coincidence. It's her heart whispering what her pride refuses to say. Signal number 2, the second silent signal. She creates soft openings for you to re-engage. The second silent signal is one most men completely overlook because it doesn't look like a woman missing you. It looks like coincidence, politeness, or harmless interaction, but it isn't. When a woman starts to miss you, she begins creating small, seemingly innocent openings that give you the opportunity to re-engage without her needing to expose her vulnerability. These openings are quiet invitations. They're subtle doorways. They're gentle ways of saying, "I'm thinking about you," without actually having to say it. What makes this signal so easy to miss is that women disguise it as normal behavior. For example, she might reply to an old story or post, something unrelated and random, just so she can start a conversation without looking like she initiated it out of emotion. She might send a reaction to something small, a heart, a fire emoji, a laughing face, not because the content matters, but because she wants you to notice she's still there. She could even message you with something accidental, like asking a question she could easily find the answer to herself. These actions seem insignificant, but emotionally, they're huge. They show she's trying to reconnect while protecting her pride. Another way she creates openings is through neutral check-ins. She might send a simple, "How have you been?" or "Hope you're doing well" message. Men often interpret this as friendliness or courtesy, but psychologically, it's far deeper. Women don't reach out to someone they're indifferent about. If she missed you enough to override her ego even slightly, that message is not casual. It's intentional. It's a test. She wants to see if the door to you is still open, and she doesn't want to expose her feelings until she knows it's safe. Sometimes she doesn't reach out directly. Instead, she uses your environment. She becomes more active when you are. She posts things that she knows you'll see: quotes, pictures, memories, hoping you'll decode the message hidden in them. She doesn't address you directly, but she communicates through timing. Women are masters of emotional timing. If she posts something the moment you pull back, it's not random. It's her way of signaling, "I feel your absence." She may also position herself physically closer if you share spaces. She stands near your circle of friends. She appears at places you frequent. She chooses a seat or spot where you're more likely to notice her. Not because she wants to confront you, but because being near you gives her emotional reassurance without risking rejection. Every small proximity shift is a doorway she's quietly opening for you. The most powerful part of this signal is that she doesn't ask you to step through the doorway. She simply creates it. She hopes you'll notice. She hopes you'll take the hint. She hopes you'll respond in a way that makes her feel understood without making her feel exposed. These soft openings are her way of reconnecting without risking her heart. And if you respond with calm, grounded energy instead of overeager excitement, she starts feeling that emotional pull even deeper. Because when a woman misses you, she won't confess it. She'll create quiet opportunities for you to return and hope you're wise enough to notice them. Signal number 3, the third silent signal. Emotional sensitivity toward you increases dramatically. The third silent signal is the most revealing, the most powerful, and the hardest for her to hide, even from herself. When a woman genuinely starts to miss you, her emotional sensitivity toward anything connected to you increases dramatically. She feels your presence more intensely, even when you're not around. She reacts more strongly to small things. She becomes emotionally alert, almost hyper-aware whenever something reminds her of you. This sensitivity is not voluntary. It is automatic. It's the psychological echo of missing someone. One of the first signs of this increased sensitivity is that she reacts differently to your silence. Before, she might not have cared if you took your time to respond, or if you didn't reach out, or if you seemed distant. But now the smallest delay from you feels heavier. She starts noticing when you don't watch her stories, when you don't like her posts, when you don't interact in the ways you once did. She might not say anything, but emotionally she feels it. Her reactions become stronger than the situation actually deserves because the situation isn't what she's reacting to. She's reacting to the feeling of losing emotional connection. Another key sign is her sudden sensitivity to your attention. She feels it when you acknowledge her, and she feels it even more when you don't. If you give her a short, calm response, she reads deeply into it. If you respond differently than before, colder, slower, clearer, she notices instantly. She becomes highly attuned to your tone, your timing, your energy. This heightened awareness happens because she's emotionally reattaching, even if she tries to maintain her pride. A woman only analyzes a man's energy like this when she cares. Her sensitivity also shows in the way she reacts to other people around you. If she sees you interacting with someone else, even casually, it stings more than she expected. She may become protective, jealous, or quietly bothered, even if she tries to hide it behind indifference or sarcasm. The idea of another woman receiving the version of you she now misses creates an emotional shift she can't fully control. She may not express it publicly, but the discomfort is real, and it manifests through small changes in her behavior, like suddenly posting more, withdrawing slightly, or trying to look more appealing online. Her emotional sensitivity also reveals itself through memory. She begins thinking about moments you shared, replaying conversations, and analyzing interactions she previously ignored. Nostalgia creeps in. She remembers your presence, your energy, your attention. When a woman misses you, the brain starts connecting present emotions with past experiences. And this connection intensifies the feeling of missing you. She may even bring up old memories indirectly or post something that hints at the past without mentioning you directly. This is not coincidence. It's emotional leakage. Finally, the most undeniable form of emotional sensitivity is her vulnerability. She begins responding in ways that reveal cracks in the mask she tries to maintain. She might reach out slightly more. She might act strangely cold one moment and unexpectedly warm the next. She might send mixed signals, not because she's playing games, but because she's struggling between missing you and protecting herself from disappointment. This emotional turbulence is the clearest sign. When a woman misses you, she becomes more sensitive to everything connected to you. Your silence, your presence, your energy, your distance, your growth. It's the signal she can't hide, the signal she doesn't control, and the signal that reveals she's still emotionally invested. Signal number 4, why women communicate missing you through silence instead of words. Most men expect emotional honesty to be direct. If she misses you, she should say it. If she wants you back, she should admit it. If she feels your absence, She should express it openly. But women rarely operate this way, not because they're manipulative, but because their emotional world is built around vulnerability, protection, and timing. When a woman misses you, she almost never announces it with words. She expresses it indirectly, quietly, and subtly because missing someone exposes her, and exposure threatens the emotional safety she works so hard to maintain. Women communicate emotionally, not verbally. The truth shows up in behavior long before it shows up in speech. To a woman saying, "I miss you," is not just a statement, it's a risk. It means admitting she cares. It means lowering her defenses. It means inviting the possibility of rejection, disappointment, or emotional imbalance. That risk feels overwhelming when she doesn't know where you stand or whether the connection is safe to revive. Silence, on the other hand, allows her to express longing without exposing her heart fully. A major reason women use silent signals is emotional pride. Women have egos just as men do, but their pride works differently. A woman may want you deeply, but her pride won't allow her to be the one who reaches out first unless she feels certain you will respond positively. Pride protects her from vulnerability. Pride keeps her from appearing weak. Pride prevents her from placing her emotions in your hands unless she senses enough stability within you. This is why her silent signs matter more than anything she could say out loud. They reveal the truth beneath her defenses. Another psychological factor is uncertainty. When a woman misses you but doesn't know if you miss her back, she experiences emotional conflict. Her feelings pull her one way, but her fear pulls her the other. She doesn't want to chase a man who may have already detached. She doesn't want to open the door only to find that you've already walked away. So instead of expressing her emotions directly, she tests, she observes. She sends gentle signals to gauge whether the connection still exists. This isn't manipulation, it's emotional self-protection. Women also communicate through silence because they value emotional reciprocity. They want to feel wanted, chosen, and valued. When she sends you silent signals, she's inviting you to respond in a way that shows emotional maturity. She wants to see if you're grounded enough to read subtlety rather than needing exaggerated reassurance. She wants to see if your masculinity can remain calm and stable instead of reactive and needy. And those small signals are her way of opening the door without losing her sense of dignity. Lastly, women express missing you through silence because the emotional impact is stronger. A woman doesn't want to beg for your attention. She wants you to feel her shift, her presence, her change in energy. She wants you to recognize the difference in her behavior and meet her where she stands. This creates deeper emotional intimacy than a simple confession ever could. Silent signals force both of you into awareness, she of her feelings and you of your ability to read her emotional truth. This is why her silence is not distance. It is communication. It is the language of the feminine, subtle, intuitive, emotional, and revealing. If you misunderstand it, you miss the truth. But if you learn to read it, you'll understand exactly where her heart stands, even when her lips refuse to speak. Signal number 5, how her behavior changes. When she secretly wants you back, when a woman starts missing you and emotionally reconnecting in silence, her behavior begins to shift in ways she cannot fully control. These are not signals she crafts intentionally. They are not strategies she plans. These are instinctive subconscious changes that emerge when her emotional desire to reconnect grows stronger than her desire to protect her pride. Most men misinterpret these behaviors because they expect something dramatic or obvious. But the truth is that the most powerful signs she wants you back are subtle, emotional, and quiet. One of the first behavioral changes is inconsistency, but not the kind that comes from disinterest. This inconsistency is emotional. She may act warm one moment and distant the next, not because she's confused about you, but because she's conflicted within herself. Part of her wants to reach out, reconnect, and move closer to you. Another part fears rejection, judgment, or the possibility that you've outgrown her. This push and pull creates a tension she cannot hide. Her actions seem unpredictable, but they are actually revealing the internal battle between desire and fear. Another behavioral shift is increased responsiveness. Even if she doesn't initiate conversations directly, she reacts faster when you reach out or when she sees something connected to you. A message from you hits differently now. It matters more. She feels a surge of energy, anticipation, or nervousness. She may read your messages more carefully, reply with more thought, or even overthink her tone. She becomes more engaged because she's emotionally invested again, even if she tries to hide the depth of that investment. A woman who secretly wants you back also becomes more intentional about her presence. She might show up where she knows you'll be post at times. She knows you'll notice or adjust her appearance when she thinks there's a chance you'll see her. These things may seem accidental, but they are driven by emotion, not randomness. When a woman desires reconnection, she gravitates toward your orbit, even when she tells herself she's being casual. Another sign is emotional reactivity. She becomes more affected by your actions, not less. If you seem distant, she feels it intensely. If you appear happy without her, it unsettles her. If you seem more confident, more focused, or more grounded, she becomes more curious and sometimes insecure. This sensitivity happens because her emotional investment is rekindling. And when a woman cares, even small things carry weight. You might also notice that she begins to open herself subtly. She shares more than she used to. She reveals small personal details. She expresses concern about your well-being. She asks questions that go deeper than surface-level conversation. Women don't offer emotional depth to men they don't care about. If she begins letting you back into her inner world, even quietly, it's a clear sign that her heart is looking for connection again. The most telling behavior is this: she pays attention to your growth. Women rarely want to return to the same version of a man they left behind. But when she sees you becoming more grounded, more disciplined, more confident, or more independent, she feels drawn to the evolved version of you. Her interest deepens, her imagination intensifies. She starts wondering if she made a mistake, if she misjudged your value, or if this new version of you is the man she was looking for all along. Her behavior doesn't lie, even when her words do. And when she secretly wants you back, her actions begin revealing the truth her pride won't speak. In short, most men waste years chasing words from women, waiting for clear confessions, explicit signals, and unambiguous statements that reveal how she feels. But the truth is that women rarely communicate attraction, longing, or regret through direct speech. They communicate in behavior, in energy, in subtle rhythms that change the moment they begin missing your presence. A woman's silence is never empty. It's a coded language, and the silent signals she sends are far more revealing than anything she could say out loud. By the time she truly misses you, her internal emotional world has already gone through multiple transformations. Her attention returned long before her words did. Her curiosity grew even when she tried to suppress it. Her imagination magnified the version of you she once overlooked. Her sensitivity increased, revealing how deeply your absence affected her. Her behavior shifted, betraying the emotional tug-of-war she was fighting within herself, and eventually the signal stopped being subtle and became impossible to ignore. She may not confess it, but everything about her, her timing, her responses, her presence, her emotional fluctuations, is telling the truth her pride won't admit. This is why understanding these silent signals is one of the most powerful skills a man can have. Not to manipulate, not to chase, not to force an outcome, but to see clearly, to see beyond the surface, to recognize emotional truth even when words hide it. Female psychology operates in layers, and the deepest layer is always silent. When you understand these layers, you're no longer confused, reactive, or emotionally blind. You're grounded, you're aware, you're in control of your perception instead of being controlled by your emotions. The real transformation is not in knowing when she misses you. It's in who you become while she does. The man who recognizes silent signals is also the man who no longer needs constant reassurance. He doesn't chase validation. He doesn't crumble when faced with distance. He doesn't lose himself in confusion or desperation. He stands rooted in his own value, recognizing that connection is a two-way street, and any woman who truly feels something will reveal it even if silently. When you master this understanding, something powerful happens. You stop overgiving, over-explaining, and over-pursuing. You begin to respond to reality, not fantasy. You recognize when a woman is quietly moving toward you and when she isn't. This clarity protects your time, your energy, and your self-respect. And ironically, it is this very clarity that makes you more attractive, more confident, and more emotionally stable. Women feel it deeply when a man sees without begging, understands without chasing, and chooses himself without ego. So remember this truth.